What is up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcastle for the next episode of Darkest Dungeon. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we hang out, and I desperately hold onto the desk and hope that I don't fall off the face of the earth. Yesterday was Super Bowl Sunday, and there was like a chain of events that was never quite planned on, where I went to a friend's house to hang out for a while, and then found out his brother was having a giant party at his house, and since I knew his brother, he was like, yeah, you should just come over, man, it'll be cool. And so we went from his house to his brother's house for the Super Bowl, and then we just like partied all day long. And so I woke up this morning and I was like, yep, this is what getting old feels like. I laid there in bed. The cat was laying on my face too, like, hi, like licking the side of my head. And I had to sit there. I had to fight. I had to fight real hard to get my body out of bed this morning. It did not want to go. I was like, man, I've sent the signal like 4 times now from my brain to my body, and it has not took any of those times. My body's like, nah, ignore that order. Nope, ignore that, Sergeant. Nope, ignore that. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to lay here for another 25 minutes and waste my day. My name is Splattercat. Welcome on back in. In the previous episode, I have no idea what we did. We did something. I'm going to take a rough guess here. We went through some dungeons that were conceivably probably pretty dangerous. We found some treasure. We had some good times. We told some jokes. We probably stabbed a couple fools who look very, very different from us. And then aside from that, I'm pretty sure that's how most of the adventure went. In today's episode, who do we have up here? We have the Wizened Hag. We've got the Swine Prince. Okay. We've got options. I think we should probably hang back. Do we have a Arbalest? We don't have an Arbalest. I think we had an Arbalest and I got rid of him. In general, after some of the changes they've made, Swine Prince can be a little bit troublesome if you don't have an Arbalest with you now. I don't know what the disconnect is, but I have a bunch of trouble with Swine Prince nowadays. It seems like you either win outright and he's not much of a threat, or he crits you for like 34 times in a row and just kills everybody in your party. It seems to swing one way or the other, and it's difficult to tell which way it's going to go at any given moment. The Arbalest has the Medic's Greaves. You know, I've noticed a number of Medic gear for the Arbalest, but the Arbalest's heal doesn't seem to be that good, and so it kind of strikes me as odd that they have like a full healer spec. I don't know. I've never run it before. We've got ourselves the Wizened Hag. We could go after her, I guess. Probably would turn out okay. The Book of Sanity. Minus 20% stress damage. Do I still have... Let's see here. We have the Hellion Pendant. We have a Cudgel Weight. The Longevity Eye Patch. Alright. Just kind of taking a look at my equipment here and trying to figure out what it is that I want to do with my time before we set on out. We need to level up some of these Men-at-Arms for sure. Once they multi-class, they can become Men-at-Legs, which is mostly just kicking. Mostly kicking and the occasional headbutt, which makes you wonder why Men-at-Legs is even like terminology. If they're going to headbutt too, wouldn't it be Men-at-Bodies? But nope. Eventually they get tired of using their arms and it becomes no challenge, and so, you know, they tie them behind their backs and then they start kicking guys like Cossack dancers. I like the party we have right now. I think this party would be perfectly fine. I don't know where we want to run off to. Rose, how leveled are you? You're at level 1, and then Belle from Hell is level 2. So we probably want to stall you. We don't want people to level up, because what I want to do is once I get people leveled for a couple episodes straight, we're just going to hit boss after boss after boss after boss, so that once I'm done with all the green stuff, I don't feel like coming back and doing easier missions once we get past that part. And so normally what I end up with is I have like a team of highly level people, and then I have a bunch of low level people. And the low-level people continue to level, and they work on the green stuff after we've bypassed it, and then the higher-level people will push into new depths and see if they can accomplish anything. Unfortunately, that type of play takes a long-ass time, and it's grindy and it takes a while. That's actually an accusation that I so rarely see levied against this game, is that it's grindy. But actually, that's one of the biggest things with this game that stands out to me, is that it's very, very grindy. You kind of do the same thing over and over and over again without a whole lot of remixing or without a whole lot of things being moved around. It's a very, very good game, but I do find it gets repetitive for me after about, I don't know, week 30-ish to week 35. I start to be like, all right, let's move this forward. Let's accomplish something. Let's do something. Let's win something. I don't think there's a lot of stuff that we can spend right now. Our crests and our deeds all appear to be perfectly fine. My guess is that I was probably saving my deeds for something in here. It does look like we have level 2 reinforcement for all of our equipment. And it looks like I've mostly gone through and upgraded people, except for the fact that we ran out of money. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my footing right here and figure out what I did last episode. I think running the Cove will be a decent idea. We haven't leveled it very well, and so I'm thinking if we could get like 2 or 3 missions in on the Cove, that'll finally supply us with enough XP. We gotta fill up this meter right here so that we can start spawning bosses. It's either that or we can go after the Estate, which works out pretty well too because we could use busts. The Cursed Incense, debuff skill chance, move skill chance, minus 5% HP. He's a dodge bot anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about his HP. I think I leveled up everybody's abilities too, so we should be solid here. Let's go ahead and we'll bring, this is a medium mission. I'm going to try and go a little bit lighter this time around. And it's a light mission that's into the ruins. Okay. We'll just bring some of this stuff along right here. I'm going to try and go a little bit lighter. I like to bring all the stuff that interacts with things. I don't know if you guys like to do that. Some people complain that I bring too many items. But I hate it when I go into dungeons and I don't have the item that like interacts with an object. It makes me feel like I'm not bringing my A game. And I like my A game. I like my A game a lot. And so I tend to bring at least like 2 of each thing. Because on those rare times where you actually get to use it all, you end up making a ton of money. Now, granted, doesn't happen very often, but still, I like clicking things, and I like that little clicking action that we do. So stick with me here. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
This is a very large dungeon. I've also noticed some idiosyncrasies there, too, and I don't mean that like in a really, really negative way. What I mean is that while I've played the game, I've noticed that sometimes you get a short mission that's like huge. It's like the size of a medium mission. Sometimes medium missions are so short that you only have to do like 3 levels on them. Like you do 3 of the rooms and then you're done. It's very, very odd how the level size just kind of varies when you play this game. Not really just a complaint. It's an observation. Sometimes I don't pack hardly anything when I come into the dungeon. And then I deeply regret it because it spawns a dungeon that's way larger than I expected. Like, I had a medium dungeon the other day on stream that was no problem at all. The medium dungeon, I think... Oh, please don't touch things. I think that one doesn't have any negative effects, but... Yeah, I was going to say, I'm almost positive that doesn't have any negative effects. So she can touch it if she wants, but I think you can also consecrate it. And in its consecration, you can find some kind of bonus. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Got a treasure room over there. I'm going to use this as one of my rooms to count towards my 90%. She's got 100% trap disarm, which is absolutely fantastic. I tend to play dungeons very quickly, so I apologize if it feels like I'm moving fast, but I just tend to go fast when I play this game. I don't like it when the missions take me like 25, 35 minutes. Most of the time what I'm in for is I just want my cash infusion. I will say this, I've played this game far more than I expected to based on my first impressions of its original access release, early access release, like a year and a half ago. I don't know. The game didn't really stick with me then, but I liked it. But I definitely think this game has been patched into a very, very good game. I don't think it started out a very good game. I think it started out like, it could go either way just with a really, really good art budget. And it ended up being a pretty solid game. What are we doing right here with torches? If we end up traveling in the dark, it's not that big of a deal. I won't weep and cry about it. We're going to be backtracking for this next little part anyways. I'm going to send a knife at her. There's 11. Absolutely fantastic from Rose. Putting a big old knife in the chest of this lady, who is going to be a major problem for our stress. I always try to get her first. Next, we'll start working on Senior Crossbow over here. Exactly for that reason right there. So that we don't get shot in the chest anymore with random crossbow bolts. Did I buy her? I think I must not have bought her the thing that I wanted her to have. Okay, let's knock him back. Oh, that was an accident. I wanted to click. See, my clicker is on him. I didn't move it at all. I think it's weird like that sometimes. Like, I misclick in this game so much, and then afterwards my mouse is like on the person I click. It's not a big deal. It's not going to vary our strategy at all. Things are largely going to continue exactly the way that they did previously. It's just a minor inconvenience. I'll probably stun him then, since that's what I wanted to do in the first place. It's odd that we didn't fish out a stun on him. He actually resisted it. That shield bash ability is really fantastic. You should exploit the hell out of it. A man-at-arms should always have Rampart and should always have Retribution. Retribution, I know there's been kind of a coup in the comments. Not like a baby coup, not like an adorable like, type of coup, like a coup as in like a coup d'etat. And so a lot of people asked why I don't use Retribution very often. In general, because it's difficult to verify they're going to attack him. Unless you have enemies that specifically attack a marked character, If you do, so let's say that you have those wormy guys that you find in the Weald, where they're like those worms with the big mouth at the top. It's just like a big worm. Or the spiders, another perfect example. Worms or spiders, they will specifically, their AI targets people who are marked, and so against them, Retribution is absolutely fantastic. Against other mobs, it can go kind of either way. Sometimes I mark somebody, and then they don't attack him the entire time. It's just like, welp, I suppose that's how it goes. Activates Riposte is essentially, he gets an attack back every single time he gets attacked, but it's at a minus 75% damage mod. I'd actually like to see that adjusted to 50%. I think that would be much more balanced. At 75%, you're kind of hoping that he'll get a crit out when it goes through. And as of right now, the amount of damage that he dishes back out as opposed to what he soaks with Retribution, it doesn't quite line up to my expectation personally, and so I don't tend to use it a ton unless I know I'm in a favorable position to use it to maximum effect. I.e., he's going to eat 4 attacks per turn, so he's going to get to attack almost 5 times. I like the ability. It's decent, but it's also best when paired with somebody that can tank heal really hardcore too. That's unfortunate. We haven't gotten a lot of treasure so far. This dungeon has actually been pretty easy street. It's been pretty easy street. I say that hoping that I haven't just jinxed myself. We got a treasure room in here, so that'll be alright. I'll take a treasure room. We've got a treasure thing. I'm gonna click on it and give me all of your cabinet stuff. There. Cabinet stuff is now ours. I'm gonna keep lighting torches. When we run out, we run out. Also not a big deal. I would like to keep everybody in this party alive, so if I have to spend a little bit of time... There it is. Roast continuing to be that individual in our party, just making the enemy run away like she's wrapped in dynamite. Man, you guys are here to play ball, aren't you? If you aren't here to win, why are you on the field? Well, they answered that question resoundingly. It's the kind of family I grew up in. I don't know if you guys grew up in competitive families or whatever, where you played a lot of sports, and sports are like a big focus. My dad was like a track star in high school. Played basketball too, but track was like his thing that he was like really, really good at. Cross country, hurdles, all that sort of stuff. And so because of that, my dad's very, very competitive. And so because of my dad being competitive, I'm very, very competitive. My family was that family in the bleachers that was just like going off. I don't really know how to describe it other than that. Like standing up in their seat, being like, "Wah, get him!" and whatnot when I used to play hockey. Very, very into it, and that's cool. It's nice to have your parents showing interest in the things that you're into, but I wasn't quite sure I was into sports. Like, I knew that I was supposed to like sports, and I was supposed to like playing them, and I seemed to have some basic acumen for it. Like, most sports that I played, I was pretty okay at. Like, I definitely usually catch on pretty quickly when it comes to sports and games and things like that. No, it was booby-trapped, and now you've been blighted. That's okay. It's not okay. Never mind, we all gonna die. I forgot to bring anti-venom. I didn't forget it, I just cut costs. And the thing that I decided to cut costs on was unfortunately the thing we didn't have. I don't know, I never really enjoyed baseball that much. I like being on, oh, we got the collector. Might be time for some payback then. If you can fish out a stun on the collector on the first turn, it's usually pretty good. I've done it a couple times now, where if you can stun him on the first turn, you get like a huge amount of time to just rack him up with a ton of damage. It's pretty fantastic. He's going to get his turn. He's going to use Collect Call because he hasn't populated his minions. This is how we're going to be able to tell if we're going to win or not. This could be a nasty collector fight. This could definitely be a nasty collector fight. Let's start working on him. Alright, so what we want to go for here is we just want to keep putting knives on him. And then everybody else just needs to DPS their hearts out. We really gotta hope. He used to play, so they changed this about a week or two ago. He used to play a move called Life Drain a lot, but I think he stopped now. The last couple times I fought him, he hasn't played it nearly as much, and since he doesn't have a healer, this fight should be winnable. I don't think we should have too many problems with it. The goal here is to crowd control and make sure that stuns are going out on each of the rogues. Because what the rogues are going to do is they're going to stack pretty nasty amounts of bleed on you until you take care of them. So it's something to watch out for. Big miss right there. That's unfortunate because we need every ounce of DPS we can muster in order to handle these enemies. He's going to come out of his stun, and we're just going to rotate. I'm going to get him with the stun next time. We're going to continue throwing knives at the big guy in the hopes that we can maybe get his HP down to an acceptable level. He's going to show collection to one of our middle line people. His entire body's made out of skulls. Not exactly sure how that works biologically, but I guess, you know, the collector's always getting head. That's a little bit edgy for the channel, I think. But you know what? I just don't care right now. I am so burned out and tired at the moment that if it comes to mind, I think I'm just going to, woo, go for it. Big hit right there. That is what I call proper flanking. His new nickname shall be the Mallet. We're actually pretty lucky right now. The stacks that they're putting up are not so terrible. It's not the sort of thing that I think is going to be insurmountable. We've almost gotten rid of the collector. After that, we'll do some basic cleanup work on the rest of them. The bleed is going to be a problem. She's taking 4 per 2 rounds. Yeah, let's get rid of him real fast. Now that the collector's down, you still have to deal with all of his amigos. He's got like a little bone cage thing right there. They have a very, very high chance to make you bleed. So just watch out for it. It's not so bad. Oh, he doesn't have the stun. Okay. It's not so bad if you've got yourself a plague doctor with you, but it can still, especially on higher difficulties, it can stack up a bit. And I've had some really, really nasty bleeds on some of my characters while doing this dungeon. I think, does she have the upgraded one right there? I think I'm going to stick to healing her. I kind of just want to make sure nothing bad happens to her as time goes along. Go ahead and throw out another hit right there. I'm going to try and stun when he gets his turn so that we can mooch a little bit more time. We've only got one more turn before we're going to be able to handle it, so we got the collector's heart. Or no, the puzzling trapezohedron. It's worth 2,500 gold if you're trying to make a little bit of cash. It's a pretty fantastic weapon to have around. We got a little bit of bleeding left to consider here. I will more than likely make camp right after this point just to ensure that all of our stats are where we need them to be before we move on to the next part of it. Actually, that worked out great. We got 2 food out of there. Sounds good to me. And then we had a treasure room in here, right? Where was the treasure room at? Was it back there? Got a curio room right there. That might be the one that I skip in order to make this go more effectively. Let's go ahead and we're going to make our camp right now because our inventory space is at a premium. And this is like the perfect time for us to round up the wagons and just try to hold out. So we've got wound care. I don't think anybody really needs that. However, we could do some stress reduction. He's got maintain equipment. That's pretty good. Instruction. Okay. I'm gonna go with a little bit of encouragement first. I just want to make sure she's got pilfer. She's got night moves. She has sanctuary. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I don't see any reason not to. We actually don't really have a ton of things here that are gonna be that useful, and so I'll probably just spend my time running buffs on people. Yeah, we're already out of time, so that's cool. Whatever. It'd be tough to sleep in a place like this. I have trouble sleeping in hostile environments. I don't like it very much. The few times that I've stayed out in areas that are a little bit sketchy when it comes to field work and whatnot, I'm kind of not paranoid, but I just have trouble sleeping when I'm in a hostile or bad environment where things could go. I want to be acutely aware of my situation at all times, and so I have trouble sleeping and I have trouble relaxing too. And we sort of maintain that I don't want to be the one that gets caught slipping. If it's somebody else, then at least it's not my fault, but I won't have it happen on my watch, you know. Oh, good, we got an anti-venom. That'll be cool. There's one thing I know about dungeons is that every time you pick up a green fluid in a dungeon that's in some vial that's inside of a spider, you should definitely eat it. It's probably an amazing plan. A great way to gain sustenance and feel better. I think we're out of torches, so from here on in, it's a darkness run for me. Yo ho ho ho, a darkness run for me. Ooh, that's kind of a nasty fight for... That's a pretty nasty little fight for... I'm gonna go flashing daggers. You should always play AoEs when you can fish out a kill and redistribute the damage to another person in their line. That tends to be almost exclusively when I play my attacks. He hasn't gone yet, so I'm going to stun him, hopefully. I've gotten a lot of resists lately, though, which is a little bit odd. I don't know what the stun chance is on that ability, but I'm assuming it must be less than 100% because it doesn't appear to go off very often. His resist is not such a great amount, so there we go. Perfect. And that'll keep us from plunging, or keep him from plunging a knife into us. which is really something that I personally try to avoid at all costs. We got a shank going out. I think that ability has a high chance to crit, so I tend to assume that it's going to hit really hard. Uppercut slice, she got out of the way. Very, very nice. You're up next, so we're going to try and get rid of him. I'm going to run a clean AoE on everybody because I think everybody in our party has a little bit of HP that they need to move around. And this is what I like to do with the shield bash abilities. I just juggle the person in the front back and forth. And then whoever shifted to the front, then your second and third liners take care of them. It's a pretty effective way to get your business done when playing this game. I really, really like double Man-at-Arms. Double Man-at-Arms tends to be a pretty sweet little group. Got ourselves another torch. If that ain't good luck, I don't know what is. The pack contains loot. Well, then you better distribute. And my hope is that this is our last ooh, there's a big hit at the opening end of the fight. Still not enough to drop her, though. We should be good. Her dodge chance is pretty solid. Let's go ahead and answer that real fast. They do say that terrible strikes cannot be left unanswered, and I do agree with that. We're going to start dropping blows on the guy right there. In the meantime, we're going to start fishing out heals and hoping we get some good numbers. Unfortunately, it didn't happen for us, but one of their crossbowmen is down. We have no utilities available to pull him to the front, and so instead, we're just going to have to rely on whittling our way through the front of their lines in order to shift him, so is what it is, I guess. Bad roll right there on the AoE. I probably should not have risked it, but I did it anyways. Because that's just the sort of gambler that I am. I get excited at the prospect of maybe something good happening, so much so that I forget the prospect of something bad happening. 12 damage out, that means he should be handled on his next turn. Assuming he doesn't deal too much damage, I think we'll be alright. Dead weight is a knockback ability that might be troublesome to deal with, especially if it results in a stun. Let's answer, I guess, in the same way. It's possible he might double resist. We've had a lot of resist go through this time around. I could have her use the fade back thing, but it's okay. I'll wait till his turn comes back up. We got rid of both of their crossbowmen. He's now rocking it completely and totally alone. Granted, he is the scariest looking of everybody in his party. Wow, that AoE is not loving us right now. It is not like ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving Splat. Not a bit. She move resisted and stun resisted, which is actually, she's kind of a soft character in that regard, so I'm surprised to see it. We'll go for a stun right there. She'll fall back. She doesn't really have any other moves anyways from the third line to the front, aside from maybe throwing Blight. So I figure it's probably not a terrible idea. There we go. That's a good one. Perfect. Fight could not have really gone better. I'm not going to mess with that sarcophagus because I think I'm out of keys.
Seize this momentum.
Yeah, there's a chance that you can get up in there and nothing bad will happen, but I think there's a pretty solid chance that something bad will happen when we try to go in there, so I'll probably just leave it alone. We will unstir the dead for right now. We leave our dead shaken, but not stirred. I think we made the scouting check here as well. Yeah, so we're done and out of here. Let's go ahead and finish the last room very, very quickly. I think we made an okay amount of cash. Kind of a rough run as far as loot was concerned, but we got something out of it. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I'm going to light that right there, even though it's probably a mistake. Drop you and take the emerald. Because at the end of the day, oh yeah, we made like 7,000. 6,500, 7,000 gold. That's not terrible. That's definitely workable. It gets me to the point where I can upgrade, and that's all that I really... I hate it when I have runs where I can't do anything after the run, where it's just like, there's nothing to work on, there's nothing really to upgrade. I like to make progress, and while this is just going to be a short series, I don't think we're going to finish it on YouTube or anything like that. He said, knowing full well we've done like 10 episodes now. I really need to stop calling things short series. We're looking at a number of things. It's just I haven't played all the other games yet to the extent that I'd like to before I'd like... Ooh, 1,500 gold right there.
This expedition at least promises success.
There we go. Yeah, we're about to make some ducats on this one. We are about to make some ducats on this one.
The great ruins belong to us, and we will find whatever secrets they hold.
10,000 gold on that run. 14,000 in actuality once you add in the completion bonus. That started out a little bit soft, but you know what? It's weird that we didn't get any busts the entire time we were in here. I prefer to have busts like the DEA. But if we can't, we can't. It is what it is. We've run out of time for the day, so my name is Splattercat. Thank you for hanging out with me for a little while as I try to regain my composure from my indiscretions this weekend. I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. Bye, everybody.